Assalamu alaikum dear students. Before taking the new part of the lesson, the fun they had of class 9th, which is written by Isaac Asmo, I am going to remind you some important points of the previous lecture. Dear students, why the county inspector was called by her mother? Because she wanted to know the reason whether the fault lies with the computer or is it the negligence of Margie. That is why county inspector was called. And how he looked around, little man. He had a hat face. He had a whole box of tools, dials and wires. And when the teacher was taken apart by him, he smiled at Margie and gave her an apple. Margie hoped that he would not know how to set it right, but he did everything in the right manner. He set it right, which took him only 1 hour. And all the lessons and the questions were shown on the screen. That was not a bad for Margie. And the part that she hated most was slot, where she had put her homework and test papers. And she always had to write them out in punch code, means computer code. They made her learn when she was 6 years old. And the mechanical teacher calculated the marks of Margie in each test within no time. Now I am going to take the next part. The inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's head. He said to her mother, "It is not the little girl's fault, Mrs. Jones. I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick. Those things happen sometimes. I have slowed it up to an average 10 years level. Actually, the overall pattern of our progress is quite satisfactory," and he patted Margie's head again. Dear students, smile. Smile is a kind of gesture that when he smiled at Margie, when he had come at that time, dear students, smiled at Margie. When he had finished his job, at that time also he had smiled. And this is a kind of a gesture that encouraged Margie, dear friends. And there is one more, patted. Pat means, dear students, patted means touched. Touched, gently. County inspector patted Margie's head. In what manner? He touched Margie's head gently. He said to her mother, he told her mother that it was not the little girl's fault, it was not the Margie's fault, Mrs. Jones. As you know now, what was the name of her mother? Mrs. Jones was the name of her mother. I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick. He thought, county inspector thought that the geography sector was geared. What means gear? Gear means ready, dear students. Ready, prepare, a little too quick. Those things happen sometimes. He was going to convince her this is not the problem that was lying with her daughter. This problem was lying with the computer. He had slowed it up to an average 10 years level student. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory. And whose progress is quite satisfactory? Margie's overall progress is quite satisfactory. What means quite satisfactory? Completely satisfactory. Completely satisfactory. Dear students, quite is adverb. It modifies word adjective. Dear students, what means adverb? Adverb modifies adjective. Adverb modifies verb. Adverb modifies adverb itself. And dear students, homophones. Q-U-I-T quiet. Another is Q-U-I-E-T quiet. It means calm. This quiet is adverb. It means, dear students, completely. I am dash well. Q-U-I-E-T quiet. Q-U, dear students, I-T quiet. And which one is correct here, dear students? I am quite well. You can write here Q-U-I-T quiet. I am completely well. Please keep dash. Quiet and quiet. Which quiet you can use here? Q-U-I-E-T quiet. and he patted Margie's head again. When he was going to leave, when company inspector was just going to leave, at that time he patted Margie's head again. Margie was disappointed. She had been hoping that they would take the teacher away altogether. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. Why she was disappointed? She was disappointed because she had been hoping that they would take the teacher away altogether, means completely, for some time. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. That is why Tommy's teacher had been taken away for nearly a month. So she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about the school?" She asked Tommy why anyone would write about the school. Tommy looked at her with very speeded eyes. Speeded eyes means he knew more than her about the schools. He was going to, dear students, clear, because it was not our school, our school, stupid, and she is called stupid, foolish. This is an old kind of school, which was mentioned in the book, and that was old kind of school that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago, means centuries ago. He added roughly, pronouncing the word carefully, centuries ago. Century, dear students, 100 years make a century. 100 years make a century. Half village बनावा century. Just you see, 100 runs make a century, 100 years make a century. Margie was hurt. Well, I don't know what kind of school they had all that time. She read the book over his shoulder for a while and then said, "Anyway, they had a teacher." Margie was hurt. Hurt means, dear students, she was disappointed. Well, she did not know what kind of schools they had all the time ago. She read the book over his shoulder, over Tommy's shoulder for a while, for some time, and then said, "Anyway, they had a teacher." Sure, they had a teacher, but it was not a regular teacher, it was a man. It was not a kind of teacher that Margie and Tommy had, means mechanical teacher, and it was a man. First time, dear students, she came to know that a man was a teacher. Thank you, dear students. I am going to continue the lesson tomorrow.